Hi there, Marcus here from 4 Software. We've recently developed a new software package called 4Pay, and it's obviously a payroll system, has a little bit of human resources information in there. It also caters for a leave register. So it's our latest baby. We're very proud of it, developed in record time, mainly for ourselves, and we also found that in the first day we sold 70 packages, so it was quite exciting. So what's the 6 most important things you should look for in a payroll system? I think the ability to work in conjunction with the clocking system. In other words, 4Pay works with 4Clock. 4Clock is a typical system that would allow you to clock in your employees on a daily, hourly basis. Every time that they clock in and clock out, it will record that time, either they're going for a smoke break, just going out for lunch quickly. You can also go and specify whether that time is payable time or non-payable time. You can go and specify whether you allow clock-ins after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or they must automatically clock out somebody that might have forgotten to clock out at 5 o'clock. The average worker, in my opinion, will not necessarily work until 6 o'clock, until you have a whip around their neck or something like that. Different method of clock-ins that is allowed. In other words, you can use swipe cards, a typical just a punch in a code, or biometrics, in other words, fingerprint reader. That's on the clocking system that you will be able to clock them in. So biometrics, obviously the better route to go. A little bit more expensive, but it saves you the hassle of remembering people's codes for them, helping to change it every now and again, and more specifically on if they're punching in manual codes that somebody else can punch in for the wrong person. In other words, a buddy-buddy system where I'm punching in a code for a friend of mine. Alright, it must be easy to use. Again, fast. Great features, no license fees, Windows based. Okay, these are the most important things in my opinion. So what do you get when you buy 4Pay and 4Clock? The ability to record all the info on every employee. In other words, their name, their address, their telephone number, their visa number, when the visa expires, etc., etc. As we all know, we have lots of people from different countries working in South Africa or in whichever country you live in. And the system will then record all of that type of information for you, so that you can know that at least you've covered yourself in terms of verifying the information. It caters for weekly or monthly wages, interfaces to your clock card system, as I just said, full deductions and additions on tax, UIF, medical, and any other deductions or subtractions, deductions or additions that you can think of. For instance, a clothing allowance that you give for a car allowance, a driving allowance, a whatever the case may be, whatever allowances you can do, and you can either then go and specify whether those allowances are taxable or non-taxable. Okay. Full-on pay packets. Once you've done your updates and things, obviously it will print out the pay packets for you, it'll do coinage analysis for you, it will give you a report of bank transfers that needs to be done. You can also go and specify whether your staff member wants to receive his money in cash, or does he want to transfer, or even if he wants to do 50-50, or he wants 2,000 in cash and the balance in credit, a bank transfer. That's up to you. Within the system it caters for that. Full HR functions with regards to appointment letters. So once you've employed somebody, you've agreed to them what the terms and conditions are, you can actually put that onto, or print out a sheet on the system, give that to them to sign, and that becomes your HR contract with them. Okay, the same applies to leave forms and things like that. As I said earlier, there's also a leave register. So every time they go on leave, they'll fill in one of these forms. You'll come back to the computer, you'll punch in the dates and times, specify what type of leave they've taken, and it will then keep a record for you how much leave is available for them. You can even go as far as saying how many leave days per month are they allowed for, so that the system will then print it on the wage packet, and they can also see what they have accumulated up to now. Okay. Warnings, disciplinary hearings, all of those type of things the system handles for. You can put notes on there and say good worker, bad worker, so on. It just helps you to not make emotional decisions about somebody's bonus or somebody's increase or whatever the case be, rather than going and looking back at the history of this person and say, but hang on, there was a day that he came in early. Okay, surprise, surprise. There was also a day that he came in extremely late, but he's always helpful, always kind, always on, on the spot with his money. For instance, we have a driver, a brilliant guy that's been with me for 8 years. In all the years, never been short 1 cent ever. Okay, that's the kind of guy that I want to have part of our organization. Okay. did a loan register also on the system. In other words, as you know, we always help our staff out. We always give them some loans, and it's always difficult to remember about the loans, whether they've paid it back or not. You can also put that on as a deduction in whatever you've agreed to. Argument's sake, the guy loans 2,000 Rand and he pays you back 400 Rand a month, whatever the case may be. That's an agreement that you can put onto the system, and the system will cater. You don't have to remember anymore and try and think about whether you've deducted it and what he still owes you and so on. So in other words, take the guessing out of the business. Okay. Again, easy to use. I mean, depending on what size you have, 4Pay is not limited by any means. In other words, whether you're using 4Pay in a big business with 500 plus employees, or a small business, well, 5 people or 2 people or 15 people, 4Pay will work for you. Okay. So at the end of the day, very, very simple system to use, very, very cheap, ridiculously cheap, and it's just too fast to get the market percentages in again. I don't believe that these other guys have something that is so special that I should pay thousands of rands for, and you should pay thousands of rand for, if 4Pay can do exactly the same job at a tenth of the price. Okay, and it's unlimited. All right, so thank you for your time again, and give us a call if there's anything we can help you with your payroll system and clocking requirements in your business. Thank you. Bye-bye.